Okay, so today I am attempting to go to a mall using the Angkots. I've been there before when I lived in Indonesia, but I always took the taxi. So we're gonna see if I can get there now from public transport. Okay, so it's like a 20-minute walk out to the main area where all the traffic is. I am almost there, and then I'm gonna go find the correct Angkot or minivan to jump onto. Selamat pagi! I took the first Angkot that said Serpong because this mall is called Sumerakon Mall Serpong, and I thought that maybe it would come here. So I went up to the window and I was like, Mall Sumerakon? And he was like, yeah. So I got on in the Angkot and I kept riding it until eventually he stopped in the middle of just some really big roundabout, and he was like, Mall Sumerakon. So I got off and I looked at my GPS and I was still a 30-minute walk from the mall, which is really hot and there's not really sidewalks or anything, so it's not really a doable walk. So I just started walking in the direction of the mall and very quickly found a different Angkot in a different color, because different routes have different colors. And I was gonna ask, but before I even did get up to the van, there was somebody standing outside who was gesturing, and he was like, SMS, SMS, which is the abbreviation for the mall. So, long story short, it took 2 Angkots, but I got here, and this mall is so much bigger than I remember. So I'm excited to walk around. There's a huge seating area right now, but I am going to walk around and do some window shopping and then find somewhere nice to sit down and use their internet, because I have pretty much no internet at my house. The download speed is 0.04, which is basically 0. Okay, off to go walk around. Okay, I know it's dark right now, but I am going to record anyway, because I feel like I want to share this story that just happened to me. I spent several hours at the mall. Actually, I spent pretty much all day at the mall. I walked around and then I spent several hours at Starbucks because, oh my gosh, the internet was so fast. So I got a whole bunch of stuff done that I've been waiting to do because I didn't really have internet at home. And then I left. I noticed it was getting kind of dark and I was like, whoa, I had better get home soon. So I went outside to the front of the mall and I was waiting. I was waiting for an Angkot to come, which I wasn't seeing any, which is kind of rare because they're always everywhere. But finally I saw an Angkot, and it was the same color as the Angkots that are always really close to where I live. So I was like, oh, that's cool, maybe I won't have to transfer. So I waved him down and the driver kind of gestured no, but then he stopped a little ways up ahead, so I walked up and I climbed into the Angkot, and very shortly after that I realized that I was just crashing with this family. I think what had happened is he had finished his driving shift and then picked up his family and they were all going somewhere. So I was just like, oh man, I feel really bad. He's just continuing to drive his route until eventually he asked me where I was going. So I told him where I was going and he was like, oh, okay. So on the way there, what happened first? Okay, so here's the layout. Up front was him, and then the woman next to him had to have been his wife, just based on the conversation that they were having the whole time. And then there were 3 people in the back, which I assume were their kids. They were all fairly young. So at one point when we were stopped in traffic, the woman got right out of the driver's seat, or the passenger seat, and she came into the back and she got out her phone, and then me and her daughter and her all had like a selfie session. So that was really funny. And she kept saying like "Chantik, Chantik," which means beautiful. So that's always funny that people here think I'm like just pretty. But even after they found out that I was from America, and they didn't speak like any English at all, even after they found out that I was from America, instead of calling me Orang American, which would be American person or just American, she was still calling me Orang Chantik, so she was still calling me beautiful person. Eventually they asked me my name, so I told them, and we were all just hanging out in the back of the Angkot together until they stopped. They pulled into this little side alley, and I was like, oh no, am I about to be murdered? Are they gonna like take me to their house and force me to eat weird Indonesian food? What's happening? Because it was just this little back alley. And the woman got out and brought one of her sons to, I guess, their house. It looked like it was a living area. And then she got back in, and the other two kids were still there, and we continued our selfie session until we got where I was going. So, and he veered off his route too. The driver veered off of what the regular route would be to drop me off like front door of the mall where I said I was going. If I had told them where I actually lived and that that's where I'm going, they probably would have dropped me off here. They were so nice. And so when I got off, they had like learned thank you from me, because at one point I said, "Terima kasih, thank you." And so then they were all like parroting it back. So I guess they hadn't known thank you. So when I got off, he said, "Thank you, Ellie." And of course I paid, I think I probably should have paid 5,000 for the whole route, but I gave them 30,000 because I felt like he was off duty and the whole family was together, and I just wanted to make sure that they were compensated for the excellent service they provided. So that's my story, and I'm almost home now.